On the news tonight, bandits leader flaunts redesigned Naira notes, claims to have plenty in sacks. Supreme Court dismisses suit challenging Oyetola's participation in Osun election. And Lai Mohammed clarifies statement on Tinubu, says Buhari fully in support of APC candidates. Well, many thanks for joining us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. A bandit kingpin, Kachala Baleri, terrorizing Kaduna communities, has released a video clip showing off the redesigned Naira notes. In the video, Baleri could be seen alongside some armed men displaying 1,000 Naira and 200 Naira notes. The bandit kingpin, who claimed to have used some of the new notes to buy ammunition, said only God knows the amount of the new Naira notes he has stored in sacks. He said his group had brought ammunition to fight the government, adding that they're waiting to hear what the government will say next on the new Naira notes. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has directed commercial banks to start paying the redesigned Naira notes to customers over the counter. In a statement on Thursday, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele said the new directive was to alleviate the challenges that Nigerians are experiencing with getting access to the new notes, as well as reduce queues at the automated teller machines. It also vowed to prosecute racketeers of the new Naira notes. In Lagos, many residents are spending hours on queues at ATMs hoping to withdraw some badly needed cash. This comes despite the extension of the deadline for the exchange of old Naira notes for the new designs of the Nigerian currency. Speaking with TV360 Nigeria, residents criticized the redesigned Naira policy, as well as alleged that the central bank and commercial banks were hoarding the new notes, as videos of people spraying the notes at social functions lead to social media platforms. Checks by TV360 Nigeria also shows that point-of-sale operators have taken advantage of the new scarcity to charge double price for withdrawals, further worsening the situation.
Yes, the experience has been so terrible. I've been there for close to 3 hours trying to withdraw the money I kept in the bank. So it has been so terrible. On getting to my turn, now the bank is telling me that the ATM is sub-dispensing. They are telling us that they are not going to load again, that they don't have cash anymore. You can see the terrible situation. Common 10 naira I don't have in my pocket. This is a man that has family. Anytime you are leaving home, you need to drop some money with your children, your kids, and your wife. So the situation is so terrible and the experience is so poor that no one is happy with the situation of the economy currently.
Things don't work like that. You don't expect 200 million plus money to get circulated to 200 million plus. How much you print? How much the money you print, and you expect everybody to get hold of that money right now? It's not enough. The money is not enough. That's the point. There should be time frame. Look at when 100 naira came outside. When during the time of Goodluck Jonathan, when they brought it took a long time. You can't even differentiate the two money. The money was going around, was going. You know that okay, this is how it works. Now all of a sudden you just want money to just. It's not possible. We are too many for all of it. Just imagine Lagos, how crowded we are, and you expect this money to just. It's not possible now. It's not possible. They should take it one step at a time. One step at a time. Let people get used to the system. Like all of a sudden, you just want people to just bring out. Now we've submit all our old cash. Now to get new money is problem. How do I go home now? Where's the transport to go home? Even if I have a car, how would I get fuel? People are doubling the money. You have to. If you go to PS now, they'll tell you how much PS will change you to get a new Naira note.
Yesterday, I was unable to sell. After I searched, there was no market, and I think as I've already cooked the food, I cannot eat the food. I just decided to go on transfer. At the end of the day, there was no money for me to pay and collect market from my customers. So it was a very serious challenge, and the thing is really affecting the business. A lot of them, they even bought on credit that they will pay. Normally, this food is supposed to finish latest by 10 o'clock under normal circumstances. But here I am, almost 3 o'clock, the food is still there. So it's a serious problem. A lot of people, they went to bank. If most of them, they even bought the food, they went to bank that they want to go and collect the money. Some of them, they have not seen anything to collect. Even some people are even hungry. They don't have any money, and there is no money for them to even the network to transfer the money is a problem. So I don't have any alternative. I have to give them food on credit pending when they will bring the money. So the thing is really affecting the business. So I don't know where we are going. So we are pleading with the government that they should find a solution to this, because it's affecting every poor man. Every poor man is suffering.
I was there yesterday, queue for money. I cannot get the money. So later on, somebody dashed me 1,000 in note. So I take a transfer to my house. I just keep a little money. I check, keep some 500 naira. When I come in this morning, I check to Ladipo. I head a bus to my working place. Remain only 200 naira. I use that 200 naira to buy food. So I mean, just to manage, so that something can be in my stomach.
The situation we are facing in Nigeria now, for the cash withdrawing, have been in bank since morning, almost 7 to 8 hours. I can't be able to withdraw the cash. So now I want to eat food. I can't get cash with me to buy food. So I come here to collect food for credit.
The Supreme Court has dismissed an appeal by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, seeking to restore the nullification of the participation of Osun's ex-governor Gboyega Oyetola and his deputy Benedict Alabi in the July 16, 2022 governorship election. A 5-member panel of the Supreme Court, led by Justice Santos Nweze on Thursday, held that the appeal by the PDP lacked merit and directed the counsel to the PDP to withdraw it. The court held that the PDP could not, under the law, question the process leading to the emergence of Oyetola and Alabi as candidates of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the election. Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court in Abuja had, in a statement on September 30, 2022, nullified the participation of Oyetola and Alabi in the governorship election on the grounds that their nomination forms were endorsed by an acting chairman of APC, who was also a serving governor of Yobe State, Mai Malabuni. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has said that President Muhammadu Buhari is fully in support of the presidential candidates All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu. Mohammed made a statement against the backdrop of his interview with State House correspondents on Wednesday, in which he said he was misquoted. The minister said the government was not officially aware of any entity in the presidential villa working against the victory of the APC standard bearer. The recent fuel scarcity and redesigning of the currency are two issues causing a major crisis within the ruling party. During a campaign rally in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, Tinubu raised the alarm on the redesigning of the naira and hoarding of petroleum products, adding that those actions were targeted at him. The Resource Center for Human Rights and Civic Education has lauded the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for the legal deployment of the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVERS, but warns that the critical intervention would amount to nothing if decisive steps aren't taken. The executive director of the Nigerian not-for-profit organization, Ibrahim Zikarilai, made a call in the wake of the verdict of the Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Osogbo, which nullified the election of Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke over alleged overvoting. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja, Zikarilai condemned the efforts of certain resident electoral commissioners to truncate the quest to deepen democratic elections in Nigeria. He advocates that INEC, CSOs and other stakeholders in electoral matters should work in synergy to nip in the bud the excesses of these electoral commissioners.
CRASED lauds the Independent National Electoral Commission for its recent extension to the time frame for the collection of PVCs. However, there have been disturbing video evidence of cases wherein Nigerians wanting to collect their PVCs were asked to part with specific sum of money to be able to get their PVCs. CRASED unequivocally condemns these manifestations of petty corruptions in the PVC collection process as documented in Enugu and Nasarawa states. While these may be isolated cases of acts of corruption by a few unscrupulous officials, it is important for the Commission to speedily cause an investigation of these infractions and ensure law enforcement bring the perpetrators to justice.
Nigerians, especially INEC, must build the confidence of Nigerians around the electoral process and the credibility of the beavers. If the beavers have become so important to determine an election, it means that Nigerians must be continuously vigilant. Take your PVC, go to the polling unit, vote, and ensure that the number accredited on the beavers equals the number of ballot papers counted at the end of the day. That is one way we can protect and ensure that we have credible election come 2023.
19 persons have been rescued from the rubble of a collapsed three-story building under construction in Abuja. Early on Thursday, after the building collapsed, Ikaro Atta, the Senior Special Assistant to the Federal Capital Territory Minister on Monitoring, Inspection and Enforcement, said 7 persons were rescued. Atta had, however, said many persons were still fear-trapped under the rubble of the building, a shopping mall under construction in the 7th Avenue area of Gwarinpa in Abuja. In a statement hours later, the FCC Emergency Management Agency said a total of 19 persons had been rescued. It added that the victims had been taken to hospitals in Wuse, Gwarinpa and Asokoro. We'll take a break here, but still to come, U.S. lawmakers ask Biden to redesignate Nigeria as religious freedom violator. Details of the story and more right after this break.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dssPR@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. A bandit kingpin, Kachala Baleri, terrorizing Kaduna communities, has released a video clip showing off the redesigned Naira notes. In the video, Baleri could be seen alongside some armed men displaying 1,000 Naira and 200 Naira notes. The bandit kingpin will claim to have used some of the new notes to buy ammunition, said only God knows the amount of the new Naira notes he has stored in sacks. We also told you that the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has directed commercial banks to start paying the redesigned Naira notes to customers over the counter. In a statement on Thursday, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele said the new directive was to alleviate the challenges that Nigerians are experiencing with getting access to the new notes, as well as reduce queues at the automated teller machines ATMs nationwide. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin, for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. Zimbabwe's Vice President and Minister of Health and Childcare, Constantino Chiwenga, has said world governments, including Zimbabwe, lost considerable ground on the progress made in the fight against HIV/AIDS when they were caught off guard by the COVID-19 pandemic. Chiwenga made the statement when he addressed health leaders attending the political launch of the Global Alliance to End HIV/AIDS in Children by 2030 under the auspices of UNAIDS, UNICEF and the World Health Organization. Chiwenga said a lot of progress had been made in the fight against HIV/AIDS, particularly as it relates to children, but the world was forced into an unavoidable but costly refocus occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic, which ravaged the world. Merck & Co.'s COVID-19 pill is giving rise to new mutations of the virus in some patients. This is according to a study that underscores the risk of trying to intentionally alter the pathogen's genetic code. Some researchers worry the drug may create more contagious or health-threatening variations of COVID, which has killed more than 6.8 million people globally over the past 3 years. The drug-linked mutations of the virus haven't been shown to be more immune evasive or lethal yet, but their very existence highlights what some scientists say are potential risks in wider use of the drug, which was recently cleared in China. We'll take a breather now and be back with more stories in business. Just stay with us. Welcome back. Simi Soladigun joins us now for more stories and business. Over to you, Simi.
Thank you very much, Folashade. Welcome to Business News. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, has said that the federal government is worried over the hardship the redesign of the Naira is causing the people. The minister said the harsh realities faced by citizens due to the introduction of the new Naira notes by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, is a necessary price to pay for the long-term health of the economy. Ahmed said President Muhammadu Buhari is not happy with that the citizens are suffering because of the implementation of the Naira redesign, but was convinced that the policy will, in the long run, be beneficial to the economy.
Is government not worried about the redesign of the hardship that the redesign is causing to the citizens? Of course we are worried. We're not happy that citizens have to queue and struggle at bank ATMs to be able to get their cash. But this is a temporary solution. Let me just give you an analogy. If you have a wound, for you to be able to heal that wound, it needs to be dressed. And sometimes when you go to the hospital, they'll put iodine on the wound, and it is very painful. But it's necessary to do that to be able to get the wound to heal. So it's not easy, And Mr. President is not happy that citizens are really suffering, but we're convinced that it is something that needs to be done at this time. And also, the central bank has been responsive in terms of providing some extension and also further explanation that come the closing date, that it's not all over, that there's still opportunity for citizens as provided for in the CBN Act Section 20 subsection 3 to actually take their old currency to the central bank for redemption. So it's not all over. But the positive side of it is that there's a lot of currency that has been mopped up by this operation, and it means it has achieved a good level of success. The only sore point is the pain it has caused to citizens, which is regrettable, but which is also very transient and temporary, and the bank is continuing to address it.
Moody's Investors Service, a global rating agency, has downgraded 9 Nigerian banks. The development followed its recent slash in Nigeria's rating. In a statement posted on its website, it listed the banks affected to include Access Bank PLC, Zenith Bank PLC, First Bank of Nigeria Limited, Guarantee Trust Bank Limited, Union Bank of Nigeria PLC, Fidelity Bank PLC, First City Monument Bank Limited, and Sterling Bank PLC. Moody's explained that the downgrade of the long-term ratings of the affected banks reflected a combination of 2 factors, which it listed to include weakening operating environment and the bank's balance sheets, given the bank's significant holdings of sovereign debt securities. We'll go on a short break here and return with stock market reports. Stay with us. The Nigerian stock market maintained its positive trend on Thursday, increasing by 0.93%. Investors now gained 272 billion naira. Now, the market key performance indicators, that's the all-share index and market capitalization, also rose to 53.998 basis points and 29 trillion naira, respectively. Now, Thursday's trading session shows that a total of 2.869 million volume of shares valued at over 8 billion naira were traded in 3,940 deals. Now, from 112 listed equities emerged 27 gainers against 13 losers. For the second time, Seplat Energy PLC leads the gainers league, and together with MRS Oil Nigeria, the market gains 1,342 naira to remain on top. Now, market watchers expect to see increased buy interest in stocks, particularly those with released results. Now, to our select global stocks, it's a mixed trading day, and looking here, we see that the UK's FTSE and Japan's Nikkei are at top. They had the bull in their favor. Both markets increased by 0.76% and 0.20% respectively. Now, the US Dow Jones, however, fell 275 points after lower than expected initial unemployment claims from the Labor Department. That's all on stock news. Back to you, Falashade.
Well, many thanks to Ms. Salah for that update. And on the foreign scene, United States lawmakers have asked President Joe Biden to redesignate Nigeria as a country of particular concern, CPC, for violations of religious freedom. In a statement, Chris Smith, the New Jersey representative, said Christians bear the brunt of persecution in the country. Nigeria was first designated as a CPC in December 2020 by the U.S. Department of State due to frequent religious conflicts and attacks by the Boko Haram sect. But the country was taken off the list in November 2021, a move that angered many human rights organizations. A huge crowd of singing and dancing worshippers turned out to attend a papal mass in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, on Wednesday, the second day of Pope Francis's visit to the country. The 86-year-old pontiff had arrived in the DRC on Tuesday on the first leg of a 6-day trip to Africa that would also include South Sudan. During a speech to politicians and dignitaries in Kinshasa's presidential palace on Tuesday, Francis denounced the economic colonialism, he suggested that wreaked lasting damage in the DRC. Despite abundant mineral reserves, the DRC is one of the poorest countries in the world. About 2/3 of Congolese people live on less than $2 a day, according to the World Bank. And now in sports, American assistant referee Catherine Nesbitt says refereeing is her biggest passion. Nesbitt was part of a sextet of women, 3 referees, 3 assistant referees who were selected to officiate at the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. With the kickoff of the FIFA Club World Cup Morocco 2022, Nesbitt is once again part of the group of FIFA match officials preparing for a showcase tournament.
I started officiating when I was young, only 14 years old, and for me it was just a hobby at the time. I also pursued a career in chemistry simultaneously with my refereeing. I really enjoyed both, but now for sure my #1 passion is refereeing. The experience was absolutely incredible to be a part of Qatar 2022. For me, it was a dream come true to be able to officiate at a Men's World Cup. So for me, the experience was absolutely incredible. I am very excited for the Women's World Cup this year. I was able to participate in the 2019 Women's World Cup, and for me this was some of the most fun I have ever had. The football is incredible, and I think we will see even better football this time around, new players, new teams, so I'm very excited.
And that's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogrinde. Bye for now.